Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com. She is a beauty influencer from New York City who commands attention.
He is a lawyer born and raised in Florida who lays down the law.
And together they are
The Lady and the Law.
Here are your hosts of The Lady and the Law, Cindy Grossman and Mitchell Goldman.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a fun show today, Cindy.
Okay.
Fun show.
Okay.
It's going to be a quiz show.
Uh-oh.
So I get to play law professor. Nah, not really law professor. But I get to ask the questions, and you and Jesse supply the answer. What you think is the answer. And then there'll be a prize at the end, a cash prize for the winner.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Hey, what the heck, right, Jesse? What do you have to lose?
You look a little bit like a great law professor I've heard of.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Professor
Dershowitz.
No, he's a little bit off the rails at times. I don't know. I don't get him.
Okay.
But I'll do my
right.
best. I'll do my best. So are you ready? You guys ready?
As ready as we'll ever be.
Okay. Now, remember, well, you'll learn about the law.
Right.
Okay. First question. Contracts have to be in writing to be enforceable.
Absolutely.
I think
Yes.
so, too.
Wrong.
Really?
Well,
A
okay.
handshake?
This is part of where the law is. Most of the time, the answer is contracts do need to be in writing to be enforceable.
And signed, I would think.
And signed. The best practice is that they are in writing and are enforceable. But what happens if there was a situation where you said to me, I'll give you $200 if you paint my shed, and I go and paint your shed, and then I go to you and say, I want my $200, and you say, hey, contract wasn't in writing. It's not enforceable. Well, in that case, the law has made an exception, and it is enforceable because there was performance. So if I relied on your representation.
Okay.
So you guys are mostly right. I'll give you a good solid B for that answer.
Okay. So that's the proof that the performance was done, correct?
Right. There was
Okay.
proof that. So the thinking is performance takes it outside of the signed contract. But
Okay.
most of the time, and the best practice, as you and Jesse noted, get it in writing.
Yes.
Okay, that's the case. Let's say you signed a contract. This is the next question.
All right.
And under Florida law, we're talking about Florida law now for everything. Do you have a 3-day right to cancel the contract for any reason? Do you have that right in Florida? It's called a right of rescission.
I'm going to say yes.
Jesse, what do you
I'll
think?
say no. A contract's a contract. If you sign it, that's it.
Well, Jesse is mostly right in this case. There are a few exceptions where there is a 3-day right of rescission. Probably the best example, the main example, is if you sign a contract to purchase a condominium, then you have a right of rescission. But otherwise, a contract is a contract is a contract. So that's probably the best answer most of the time. That is the best answer.
All right.
So I don't know. You guys are neck and neck so far.
No.
Two good students. Okay, here's the next question. If you go to trial and you win and you have an attorney, you also get your attorney's fees and costs as part of your judgment if you win.
Not all the time.
What do you think, Jesse?
So you go to trial, you win, and
You
so the
automatically
loser
get-
pays for your attorney's
Right.
fees. I say yes.
Wrong.
Oh,
In the United States, we do not have that system.
okay.
In England, they do. If you lose at trial, the loser has to pay your attorney's fees. In the United States, the only way you get attorney's fees is if it was in the written contract that we talked about, or there are certain cases, depending on the nature of the lawsuit, there are certain statutes that may award you your attorney fees. But most of the time, if it's not in writing, you don't get attorney's fees automatically. So think about that before you file a lawsuit, because you're going to be paying your attorney maybe win, lose, or draw. And those fees add up. Okay, here's a different area. If you die without a will, then all your money goes to the state.
Ooh,
True.
I don't think so.
What do you think, Jesse?
I don't think so. I think it goes to your next of kin automatically,
That's true. Yeah.
but I don't know.
Do you want to change your answer, Cindy?
Yes, I think it's next of kin. Yes.
Yes. What happens if you die without a will in Florida, and this is true in other states, and in all states really, then you are what's called intestate, which means you don't have a will. And let's assume you don't have a will, you don't have a trust, then your money is going to be split up according to a will that the state has made for you in the statutes. And basically what happens, the money first goes to your spouse. It gets a little complicated if you have children from other marriages. Maybe you have children from a prior marriage that is not a product of the marriage that you had when you died. So it gets complicated, but basically spouse, children, then it will even go up to your parents, brothers and sisters, etc. It gets very complicated. So the best answer, get a will, get a trust, and you don't have to think about this ever again. But
put the pieces in its place before. It's very important.
Yeah, there seems to be a theme. Get it in writing.
Yeah.
Get it in writing. That's
Yes.
always good. That's always a good answer and a good way to practice business and in your personal life as well. If you buy a home, then you cannot allocate closing costs. The state tells you the buyer pays these costs, the seller pays these costs. Is that correct?
Well, I know in Florida, the seller pays the closing costs.
Okay. What do you think, Jesse?
I think Cindy's right. I think the seller does pay the closing costs.
Everything is negotiable in a contract. So typically the seller pays the bulk of the closing costs, like doc stamps on the deed and title insurance, and then the buyer pays the costs associated with the loan, but everything's negotiable. So you can negotiate something different. And I see those differences, especially in commercial loans, when the prices may be more and there's more of a sharing perhaps of title insurance and doc stamps, very expensive costs. And typically the commission's paid for by the seller, though not always the brokerage commission. So not only do you want to get your contract in writing, Jesse, you're absolutely right, but everything is negotiable. Nothing is cast in stone. It has to be that way. Okay?
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you live with someone for 10 years in the state of Florida, husband, and you call them my wife, my spouse, my significant other, you give them a wedding ring, then after 10 years, the law says you're legally married to that person.
But you don't go through the ceremony to actually get
Correct.
married?
Like is there a common law marriage?
I say Florida does not have that.
I think Florida does.
Oh.
And you would be wrong.
Okay.
Florida used to have it's called common law marriage, and they abolished it in, I think it was 1968 or 1969.
Oh.
So it's been a long time. And a few states, again, we're talking Florida law, a few states still have that. You don't have to go through a marriage ceremony, but there is something that you need to do that. But for Florida, we don't have common law marriage. So if you want to live together, you're not married to that person, and you don't owe them that legal duty that you would to your spouse otherwise if you were married. Now, while we're on that topic, if you give someone a ring, an engagement ring, and you don't get married, under Florida law, are you entitled to get that ring back? Jesse, I'm going to ask you this question.
Ooh, are you entitled to get the ring back?
Yes, if you don't get married. And let's say you broke it off.
I think once the ring is in the possession of the other person, it's their ring.
Okay. What do you think?
No, I say you're entitled to get the ring back because it didn't go through what was set to happen. There was supposed to be a marriage, and the marriage did not happen.
Well, in Florida, you are correct, Cindy, that it is treated as if it was a conditional promise to get married. The marriage didn't happen, and you're entitled to get the ring back. But I will say, in Jesse's defense, that's not the law in all states. Mm-hmm. Other states look at it as he did, that it's a gift, and there's no requirement that you give a gift back. But, and while we're talking about giving back, we're going to be back with more questions. I can tell you're excited.
Yes.
In a few minutes.
Okay.
The law offices of Goldman, Monahan, Tucker, and Bettine is here to help you with your personal legal challenges, business needs, and real estate matters. Since 1984, we have assisted countless numbers of Florida individuals and businesses with their legal issues. From trusts and estates, wills, real estate, and civil or criminal litigation, we pride ourselves on maintaining lifelong client relationships and would appreciate the opportunity to assist you and your family as well. Please call 321-639-1320 for further information on the law offices of Goldman, Monahan, Tucker, and Bettine. I'm a non-attorney spokesman.
Summer is here, and it's a great time to create your outdoor room at Sunshine Furniture. Now, during our July clearance sale, you can save an additional 10% on all in-stock patio furniture from Lloyd Flanders, Woodard, Windward, Beechcraft, Pollywood, Berlin Gardens, and more. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have anything you need, all built to withstand the Florida elements, and we also specialize in cushions, umbrellas, outdoor rugs, and fire pits. For inside, we have the largest selection of coastal sofas, sleeper sofas, dining sets, recliners, and bedroom groups in light and airy coastal colors by Four Seasons, Capri, and Universal, including a gallery of Tommy Bahama. Come in now for our July sale, including 50% off all pictures, lamps, and accessories. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com. Also, don't forget our outlet and sales center right across the street.
Sunshine Furniture.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Not crypto coins, not penny stocks. The best tool to build wealth is still real estate. I'm Chris Nolan of the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. Invest today and allow your real estate to provide a future for your family tomorrow. We'll show you the way. Visit mynexthomefinder.com.
Don't wait till you're in the path of a storm to gather supplies. Visit Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. Sturgis has everything you need to be prepared. Visit SturgisLumber.com. 4 generations strong. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware. More than just lumber.
Timber!
Need an enlightening pick-me-up? Visit Kristen and Cindy at Skinergy to energize your skin and keep it looking fabulous forever. Kristen can help with hair removal, sugaring to keep your whole body smooth and conditioned. Kristen will help you refresh and defend your skin while giving you a customized facial. Cindy helps skinergize and get you camera ready for your everyday look or special occasion. Visit Kristen and Cindy at Skinergy. Find them on Facebook under the Skinergy Squad.
And we're back. Cindy and Jesse neck and neck, 2 very, very astute students of the law. So you want me to continue to ask a few more questions?
Yes, Professor.
Oh, I have a trivia question.
Uh-oh.
Which state has the highest percentage of lawyers for its population?
I would say New York.
You would be correct.
Nice.
Excellent. It has the highest percentage of lawyers for population. So we won't count that. That's like a bonus points for
A
you.
lot of suing going on there.
Exactly. A lot of suing. Okay. Here's a question about family law.
Okay.
If one of the parents does not pay child support, then the other parent can automatically terminate the parental right to visitation.
So
What do
if
you
you're
think?
behind for a certain amount of time,
Yep.
I don't think that can happen. I'll say that.
What do you think, Cindy? Do you agree?
Well, yes, I agree.
That's correct. That would be the correct answer. It's only the court can terminate visitation. So just because someone's behind on their child support, that doesn't mean the other spouse can just say, hey, you're behind. I'm not letting you see Johnny and Susie this week. It's going to be ugly and they're not going to be happy, but the husband or the wife that's behind can still see their children.
How is that? How is that possible?
Because the court has to order that the visitation rights be terminated.
Oh, okay.
It's not up to the other spouse.
It's not up to the other spouse, but she can then go to court or he can go to court, right?
Yes, but failure to pay may not really be grounds to terminate visitation. Of course, if you're in contempt of court and you're in jail, then I guess you're not going to get visitation, and that's always a possibility.
Yeah.
So pay your child support.
Right. Not a good look.
No. That's very bad. Very bad
Right.
for the children.
Yeah.
Do we have, we have prenuptial agreements in Florida, which are agreements before you get married as to how assets would be distributed if you get divorced or in the event of a death. Do we have agreements in Florida talking about what happens after you get married?
So like a prenup signed after the marriage, so a postnup.
Exactly. Do we have that?
I say yes.
I think we do.
You guys are good. Not fooling you today. We do have postnuptial, they're called very sophisticated prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. We do have that in Florida, dealing with situations where people want to distribute or talk about how assets would be distributed after they got married, in the event they got divorced or in the event of death of one of the spouses. So we do recognize that. So you were both correct.
All right, we're on it.
Yeah.
You're on it. If you have a power of attorney, a POA for your parents, then they don't need to have a will when they die. You can use your power of attorney for their estate's benefit.
I say negative. No.
Why?
Okay.
Why do you think that?
Because I think still there needs to be some kind of a contract or, the actual will stating where the funds will go.
Okay, what do you think, Jesse?
I think if you do have a power of attorney, then you do have the say of where the money goes. Without the will, without the paperwork.
So there wouldn't be a requirement for a will in that case.
I don't think so.
The answer is, dun, dun, dun. No, sorry. The answer is that the power of attorney is deemed revoked and no longer valid once the person dies.
Oh,
Wow.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So the power of
Wow.
attorney, it ends. And when that person is deceased, the power of attorney is invalid, cannot be exercised anymore.
Wow. So what happens?
If they don't have a will, what happens? Where does the money go?
Oh, right.
Intestate.
Next to kin.
Next of kin.
Right.
See, it's
Okay.
all flows here.
Right. Interesting.
But and sometimes we run into situations where someone gave a power of attorney and to someone else, and the person, unfortunately, maybe they developed Alzheimer's or they became senile, and there's a special power of attorney that you can give to your child or your spouse, that will still be valid. But if it's not under that special category, that power of attorney can be invalidated. So, it just depends. But at death, that terminates the power of attorney. We had a discussion a few weeks ago about driving under the influence, and in Florida, 0.08, your 0.08 blood level is the maximum. It is deemed driving under the influence. What happens if you get stopped and your blood alcohol level is under that? Can you still be convicted of a DUI?
I say yes.
I think so too.
Why?
Because we talked about that it could be not only alcohol, it could be narcotics as well.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
What happens
same
if there are
reason.
no narcotics in the system? Just the alcohol level was like under 0.08. Can you be convicted of DUI?
Well, if they were driving recklessly, I would think so.
That would be correct, because you're still driving under the influence, even though maybe it's still at a lawful level. You're still under the influence if they can convict you of that. So, all right, well, we have time. I don't know who's winning here. It's pretty close. You guys are both really good. Okay, last question. It has to do with wills. Sometimes you hear provisions that state if you could, like, you leave some money maybe to a child, that you just leave them a little bit of money, and you say, if you contest the will, if you fight this will, then you get nothing.
Wow.
I'm going to leave you $20,000, but if you contest the will, try to get it invalidated, you get nothing. Is that recognized in Florida, that kind of provision?
I say yes.
I'll play devil's advocate and say no, because it goes against the wishes of the deceased.
I have to agree with Jesse.
Oh.
Those kind of no contest provisions are not valid in Florida. So if you leave somebody money and they contest it, they still get the money.
Oh,
So better not to leave them anything if they want to fight about it anyway.
okay.
So what did we learn today?
Get a will. Make sure you have everything in writing, contracts, and hire a professional to write the contract.
I think that's the best commercial I've heard from my firm.
Absolutely.
I think she works for me. She should. What did you learn, Jesse? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Get it in writing, and in many laws there are stipulations where it might go this way, it might go that way. So
That's why they're lawyers. Thank goodness.
That's right.
Right.
We gotta make it work. We gotta try to find a way that's fair. That's what the courts
Right.
are up to, and that's what the laws try to do. Find the exception. So I hope we all had fun. I don't know how the audience did. I don't know who won. I think they both get cash prizes. So
Okay.
we'll talk about it after the show. They're probably going to end up fighting about it, but we'll get it adjudicated civilly.
Okay.
So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank
All
you,
right, thanks,
Cindy.
Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch.